Friends, we got Art De La Cruz and Jill Beats are going to talk about the new Sugar Skull Room. Greg Jackson's here talking about the Bug Area. Victoria Finnegan and Nick Pavlakos are in this morning to talk about the Equestrian Cup, and Callie Shaw is going to perform all on the Morning Brew with Friends. Friends, and we're here with Nick on the couch this morning. Good to see you. We'll talk about the Equestrian Cup in a minute. There are actually horses at the Equestrian Cup?
There are horses at the Equestrian Cup.
I love it. I love horses.
I do too.
But first things first, we got to tackle headlines that are brought to us by our friends at Tony and Guy Hairdressing Academy. And did you celebrate Indigenous Peoples yesterday?
Actually, I did not. I celebrated Columbus Day.
Oh, you
yesterday.
did? Because there was a great protest/parade all through downtown celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. Albuquerque, is one of just a handful of cities across the nation that is now looking at it as Indigenous Peoples Day. And it's one of the great I think one of the interesting things that's happening right now.
Right.
And you're still in the Columbus Day camp, though.
Yeah, I don't know how I fall on that. I think that it's one of those things. I like tradition, so I think things are the way they were, and I'm not willing to rock the boat like that. But I understand that may cause issues with some people. Yeah. And maybe there needs to be some kind of middle ground found. Yeah. But I think until
it's not
as
an
a
official
nation,
holiday.
Yeah.
It's a proclamation in Albuquerque, which is pretty cool, I think.
I think we should have the discussion and maybe decide as a nation rather than little pockets all over the country.
Well, the one thing we should have decided last week is a lot more stuff on the election. We had the worst voter turnout in 41 years, the final tally. And I was telling some people about this last night, and they were like, we had an election? Yeah. It's like, there you go. I can't believe it. Since 1974, this is the lowest, in a general election, not a mayoral election, lowest turnout ever. But the trend line there is not so pretty.
No,
I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, wow, this is not so good. I'm wondering what is going on with Albuquerque voters that were so complacent.
I don't think it's just Albuquerque, unfortunately. I think nationwide we're beat up with all the... Yeah, I think we're sick and tired of politicians, period.
Right.
No offense, guys.
Well, we'll ask Art De La Cruz. Yeah. He's a county commissioner. When he comes in, we'll ask him what's going on
Except
with that.
He's a nice guy.
Right. And then this is very cool number. I'm a total fan of startups and growing the economy. And in New Mexico, we have the second highest growth rate of startups in the nation, which is pretty cool. Not that the startups themselves are growing their bottom line. We see the highest growth in number of new companies starting in Albuquerque, which is very cool. And have you been following the startup world stuff?
Well, I'll tell you what I do know is that at Rotary we had a Secretary Barella came and talked to us last week, as a matter of fact, about just that.
Oh, great.
And so he was talking about
it's a big win for guys like him because they can't recruit every company in the world here, so you got to start them from the ground up, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's what's interesting is that the economy in general is flat, but somehow that seems to be happening here. I'm just not seeing it.
Right. Well, actually, overall, the economy. This is next headline. It turns out that the economy looks to be down.
Yes.
And this is a tough one. Nationwide, though the economy is growing at a little tiny bit, it had been growing at 2.9%. Was our first initial thoughts, and now all the revised number for the first 3 quarters of the year are 2.5%.
Yeah.
And I don't know, are you guys seeing that too at Rotary and in the Equestrian Cup with growth of the Equestrian Cup?
Well, I can tell you that as a nonprofit trying to survive in this environment is very difficult because we're getting hit from both sides. The government's cutting back, and then the private sources of funding that we usually get are getting nailed by low interest rates, so they're getting nailed as well. So we're getting nailed from both sides. Yeah. And it's very difficult to function. So
is there any way out of that, you think, on your end? Or is it just keep fighting?
It's just that's what we do is we get up every morning and keep fighting.
I hear you.
But I think the one thing that is very clear is that that the economy is struggling. There's no question, and hopefully that somehow. I mean, I just remember back in the '80s thinking 2.5 as being a huge.
That would have been big, right.
It would have been a joke.
In years of negative growth back then, right. Yeah, we're actually on a tear, even compared to just 10, 12 years ago. Compared to the late 2000s, we are really, really going.
Well, I don't know about really going,
but we're trying anyway. Well, this is great. This is a photo of a guy I wish I knew. His name is Sam Nave Vad. he actually owned Google for about a minute. Google.com. So this guy, he was a former Google employee, now he's a student, and he was screwing around on the internet last week, and he ended up going to Google domains. He was just like, I want to buy a couple of domain names, and you can sign up for whatever you want.com, right?
Right.
And he types in Google.com, and it lets him buy it. It actually let him buy Google.com for 1 year for $12. And the guy couldn't believe it. And then, of course, like 2 minutes later, he gets just his computer, everything explodes pretty much with alerts, and they cancel his credit card because he actually bought it through Google Domains. And I guess there was some kind of trigger that somebody at Google Domains was like, can we sell that? I'd love to be the guy on the other end of that phone call. Like,
should I be calling somebody?
Can we sell Google.com? Can we do that? Is it? But anyway, the guy said, sure, I'll sell it back to you. And Google said, well, how much do you want? He says, help me out with this charity. And he's Indian, and he wanted to help some folks in India. It's a charity that helps 404 nonprofit schools across India. And Google was like, okay, fine, we'll double it. And they paid him twice what he was asking since it went to the charity.
Now, that's
all over
nice.
India, which is
I didn't know how that was going to end. I asked you about that earlier, and that's beautiful.
Right.
I
think stories like that are really cool. That's a pretty googly way to do it,
googly
too.
Way.
You know, I think any other company would have just been like, here's some money, take it, go away. Google's like, wait, charity? Totally double that.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome.
That is awesome.
And this is a photo from the next season of Manhattan. Have you been following this show?
No, I have not seen it.
It's on AMC, and it is a locally made film, and it's filming up in Los Alamos and Santa Fe. And it follows the guys that are making the bomb, right? And the next season is actually going to follow the next steps. The first season was all about the intrigue and how they found the scientists and everything. And this next season is going to be all about how they actually make the thing.
Put the bomb together. I'm
really excited. It's a very cool show, and the amazing thing to me is that everything looks just right.
Right.
Everything looks period, but it doesn't look like, you'll see like a 1956 Jeep in it, but it doesn't look like an old Jeep like it would today. It actually looks like it's a brand new
Jeep,
right? Which I think is really great.
Well, hopefully the Iranians aren't watching it.
Right. And then finally, we got a new photo to show you here. This is something that was confirmed just yesterday, that dude on the left is actually Billy the Kid. That's a brand new photo. There haven't been any new photos of Billy the Kid that have surfaced in years. Our guys here at the studio are saying it's a Photoshop thing. I don't know. They actually have the negative, Lee. They say it's the real deal. It kind of looks like him. I'm not sure. I never met the guy in real life.
Yeah,
so.
me neither.
We'll be back in a couple of seconds, and we're going to talk to Art De La Cruz and Jill Beats from Bernalillo County, and we'll ask them about the election. We'll talk to you in just a bit about equestrian stuff.
That's great.
All in the Morning Brew with Friends.